take on one devotion. Follow the bouncing ball that led a killer quartet of teams to the Final Four. Take a walk through the most crowded trophy room on the old continent. Meet a signature scorer whose game has grown in the Euroleague. And find out how the Euroleague's newest club got there in dominating fashion. Under the leadership of new head coach Dimitris Itoudis, CSKA Moscow made its intentions known early this season by refusing to lose through 4 months and 15 games, amassing the 4th longest winning streak in Euroleague history. With forwards Sonny Weems and Andrei Vorontsevich setting the pace, CSKA boasted the league's most productive offense as the only team to win all 10 games in the regular season. Its dominance continued into the top 16 as new signing Nando De Colo earned the January B1 MVP award by inspiring CSKA to 5 hard-fought victories, including one against eventual Final Four qualifier Fenerbahce Ulker Istanbul, in which the reliable Aaron Jackson put on an outstanding performance. CSKA made it 15 wins out of 15 games with consecutive 100-point scoring shows as the brilliant Milos Teodosic came to the fore. And after finally suffering its first 2 slips of the season to Fenerbahce and its upcoming semi-final opponent Olympiacos Piraeus, CSKA quickly returned to its winning ways. With former Euroleague MVP Andrei Kirilenko returning to the team, centre Sasha Kaun ruling the paint and Karl-Heinz filling in the team's few blanks, CSKA enjoyed a superb run of 6 victories to close the top 16 atop its group again. In the playoffs, CSKA continued to impress, hammering Panathinaikos Athens in the first 2 games. Although the Greens fought back in Game 3, Kirilenko then stepped up to inspire a series-clinching victory that sent CSKA Moscow to the Final Four for the 12th time in 13 seasons, as the highest-scoring Euroleague team in the last decade. Olympiacos Piraeus showed its strength from the very start of the season, which began with long-time assistant Milan Tomic minding the bench until Euroleague newcomer Giannis Fairopoulos took over as head coach. A career-high 34 points from Vasilis Spanoulis against Neptunas Klaipeda was the highlight of a 6-game winning streak, as the Reds entrenched themselves atop their regular season group. Kostas Loukas then played a pivotal role in a tough home win over Cervena Zvezda Telekom Belgrade to clinch first place. With Brian Dunstan anchoring the defence and Matt Lojeski firing in 3-pointers, Olympiacos started the top 16 with 4 straight victories and rebounded from a subsequent defeat by ending CSKA Moscow's 15-game winning streak before Georgios Printesis, after missing all of the regular season with an injury, starred in a high-scoring victory at Nizhny Novgorod. Defence was Olympiacos' forte, as the Reds held its opponents to fewer points than any other team and allowed 80 points or more just 3 times. But the team's momentum took a hit late in the top 16 with 3 losses in 4 games, as team leader Spanoulis sat out injured, with the Reds slipping from first place to 3rd. The playoffs featured formidable opposition in FC Barcelona, which dominated the series opener by holding Olympiacos to a season-low 57 points. But Printesis took over Game 2 with the best performance of his Euroleague career, as Olympiacos reversed the home court advantage. And at Peace and Friendship Stadium for Game 3, Spanoulis joined Printesis in top form to seal a narrow win. Game 4 was even more dramatic, with the 4th quarter alone producing 9 lead changes. Finally, with the score tied in the closing seconds, Printesis relived his role as club hero by draining a series-winning 3-pointer to send the Reds back to the Final Four. Real Madrid hit the ground running this season with victories in its first 4 EuroLeague games as JC Carroll and Sergio Rodriguez rattled opposing defences in back-to-back 100-point shows, in which Los Blancos set and then matched the EuroLeague single-game record of 33 assists. Defeats against Anadolu Efes and Unix Kazan briefly disrupted that dominance, but Madrid roared back to finish the regular season with 3 straight wins behind a dominant Ioannis Borousis. The Spanish giant continued its good form as Rodriguez and Sergio Llull took turns sparkling during 4 wins to open the top 16, while veteran captain Felipe Reyes not only became the Euroleague's all-time leading rebounder, but started posting his best offensive numbers this decade. Luis Fernandez ignited another streak of victories in the finest possible fashion, with a resounding victory in El Clásico against FC Barcelona, soon after which he was bwin MVP for February. Pablo Lazo's men eventually finished as top 16 group winners, and with the best points differential out of all teams, setting up a playoff series against Anadolu Efes Istanbul, in which a trio of this year's newcomers, inside bangers Gustavo Ayllón and Andrés Nocioni, and sharpshooter Casey Rivers, fueled 2 exciting comeback wins at home. Efes broke its heart in Game 3 with another buzzer beater, Madrid refused to wait for the series to return home as Llull and Fernandez helped shut the door in Istanbul. That Game 4 win preserved its season-long streak of avoiding consecutive defeats and made sure that Madrid will be the first home team at the Final Four 8 years after Panathinaikos. After splitting its first 4 games of the regular season, Fenerbahce Ulker Istanbul made a statement in round 5 as Andrew Gaudelot set a single-game Euroleague record with 10 three-pointers in a victory at FC Bayern Munich. Winning on the road would soon become a healthy habit for coach Željko Obradovic's men. Fenerbahce scored key wins in Milan behind Ricky Hickman and in Barcelona behind Bogdan Bogdanovic to finish the regular season on a 6-game winning streak and place second in its group. In the top 16, Fenerbahce lost its first 2 home games to eventual Final Four participants CSKA Moscow and Olympiacos Piraeus, but started running after that and hardly stopped. Nemanja Bjelica dominated with a handful of double-doubles and was named bwin MVP for March, as Fenerbahce took revenge on both CSKA and Olympiacos, while extending its road streak to 9 victories. Bogdanovic scored 25 points to beat EA7 Emporio Armani Milan and clinched a place in the playoffs. By the time its overall streak hit 9 wins in a row too, Fenerbahce had already earned home court advantage in the next round, although it also lost Hickman to a season-ending injury. Down 10 points after half-time in Game 1 of the playoffs against Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, things did not look good for Fenerbahce. But that's when Luka Zoric triggered an 11-0 run and Jan Vesely detonated several fourth-quarter dunks among a career-high 23 points that paved the way to victory. Fenerbahce won Game 2 more comfortably as Semi Erden made his presence felt, but in Tel Aviv for Game 3 were pushed to overtime by the defending champions. Nikos Zizis scored a season-high 19 points, Vesely forced the extra session with a slam dunk, and Gaudelot netted the game-winning layup to complete the only sweep in the playoffs this season and send Fenerbahce soaring into its first Final Four. With a grand total of 8 continental crowns, Real Madrid is the most successful basketball club in Europe. Los Blancos won 4 titles within a decade of the EuroLeague's initial launch in 1958, and one of the stars of that golden era was big man Clifford Llull, who eventually became the only player to win 6 European titles with the same team. All of which makes Llull the perfect guide to take us behind the scenes at Real Madrid.
Welcome to Real Madrid Basketball Trophy Room. Basketball in Real Madrid is started in 1931. The club started in 1902. So really, the soccer team is 112 years old. Basketball is 83 years old. So it's always been a part of the institution of Real Madrid. You can see all of the other types of trophies we have here. ACB leagues. Now I played 16 league tournaments, and we won 14. I was fortunate enough to win 14 out of 16. And here we come to the Intercontinental Cups, which is not being played too often now, but we have won 4. I was on 3 of those teams.
More than any other trophies, however, Real Madrid's glory is measured by the club's success on the European stage, and there is certainly no lack of silverware in that department.
And here are really the most important for us are the European Cups, which we won 8. The football team has won 10, but we should have won 10 also, because we lost 2 years ago and last year, and it could have been 10 for us, but we just didn't have very good luck on us on the final day.
Real Madrid is, of course, one of the most famous sporting organisations in the world, and Luik explains that basketball has always played, and continues to enjoy, a key role in the club's operations.
Basketball in Real Madrid always was loved by Don Santiago Bernabeu and his wife, Doña Maria. They traveled with us many times all over Europe. And now we have another great president who really likes basketball, Don Florentino Perez, who really supports us a lot, comes to all the games.
Despite the club's glorious history, Los Blancos haven't claimed a EuroLeague title since 1995 and will be hoping to end the 20-year wait on its own court when the Final Four comes to Madrid in the middle of May. Luik is certainly very happy with the exciting brand of basketball the team employs these days as it goes in search of more glory.
Now it seems that we've come back to our origins with Pablo Lasso. I think we're playing a very spectacular way we played. We've always been a running team. We've always liked to fast break a lot, and depending on our defense, we can enjoy a fast break or off defensive rebounds. And we're sort of coming back to where we were in the 60s and 70s.
And at the end of our tour, it is clear that if Real Madrid does succeed in lifting its 9th EuroLeague trophy in May, nobody will be more proud than one of the club's greatest ever players, Clifford Luik.
Thank you very much for coming with me. It was a pleasure explaining some of the things here, trophies, and the history of the basketball section inside of one of the best and biggest sports clubs of the world, Real Madrid Football Club.
CSKA Moscow's march to the Final Four has featured another outstanding season from Sonny Weems, who is heading to Madrid as one of his team's top 3 performers in points, assists, steals and minutes played. This year, Weems believes that the continuing presence of Milos Teodosic, coupled with the arrival this season of Nando de Colón, lessens his scoring responsibilities and helps him to become a more rounded performer.
I think every player who's, plays on the top level kind of enjoys the ability to score. But I think this year we have a lot more weapons, and I really don't need to score as much as I did, in the past. We had Teo, we had De Colo, and we had myself, so we kind of share the scoring roles between each night. So I'm more of a score when I have to type of guy, and more of a facilitator now.
This is Weems' 3rd season in Moscow and his 4th in the EuroLeague, after first signing for Žalgiris Kaunas in 2011. And he believes playing in Europe has greatly improved his all-round basketball ability.
My first year when I was in Lithuania, me coming from the NBA, me coming from Toronto, I think I was more of a transition player. get up and down, run, dunk, jump, you know, those kind of things are those typical NBA guys and the highlight reel type guys. But being in Europe, you have to use more of a half-court game. You have to think the game more than just going out there being an athlete. And I think being in Lithuania and seeing, you know, different players and watching different players and how they play pick and rolls and how they read the defense, I think that really elevated my game to understanding of how to actually play basketball. And I think when I first got here, I really didn't know how to play basketball. I think Europe really helped me develop that a lot.
Having lost in the semi-finals in each of his first 2 seasons in Moscow, and with CSKA losing in the final the previous year, Weems is determined to help write a different finish to the current campaign by lifting the championship trophy in Madrid, motivation that is always in his mind.
We think about it every day, every game, especially me, because that'll be a great accomplishment to my career in Europe. A 4th-year player out of the NBA, not many people can say NBA guys come over here and really get adjusted to the European game and actually have success, and actually win the EuroLeague. So that stays in my mind every day. Like I said, that'll be a great accomplishment to my career in EuroLeague. And hopefully, if we get this, we can win more.
Rather than being burdened by the past, Weems believes CSKA's memories of those recent near misses will help to spur his team on towards glory this time round.
The last 2 years, we had many chances to win the EuroLeague. They all came down to maybe 1 or 2 plays. And I think that really put more focus on it. And I think that's like a stab in the heart to us because we worked so hard in the regular season and to make it that far and then it just go down the drain. Like I always tell my teammates, the regular season really don't mean anything. I mean, it's great to win games, but winning all those games doesn't really mean anything unless you don't win a championship. So.
Weems is also confident that CSKA will learn the right lessons from those Final Four experiences, suggesting that a more determined approach with greater emphasis on defense will allow them to enjoy success.
I think in Milan, it's just like I said, it just came down to those 1 or 2 plays that we didn't execute, and we kind of let that get by us. But this year, I think we'll be a lot more focused. We have a great defensive team this year, really good defensive team, and hopefully, you know, we can play that great defense in the Final Four because it's not all about scoring.
To reach the Final Four, teams don't simply need talent, but great teamwork from the head coach down to the last player. That teamwork is best observed when all parts work together in signature plays, like the ones we analyse for you now from each of the Final Four qualifiers. Using simple, well-spaced plays and reading the defence is one way in which CSKA Moscow uses its players' talents. Here, Karl-Heinz starts with a screen on the ball for Nando de Color, forcing his defender to help, while Heinz then sets a pick for Sonny Weems, who seems open enough to take a shot. But he notices that Andrei Kirilenko's defender is out of place. Kirilenko reads the situation and gets a backdoor pass from Weems and finish with a 2-handed slam. Great read and perfect teamwork. Power forwards able to shoot with great accuracy from the top of the arc are rare. That's why Olympiacos Piraeus takes good advantage of the talents of Yorgos Printezis and Brent Petway by getting them open 3-point attempts. Both big men starting in the high post, while the team's smaller shooters set up as far away as possible in the corner. Oliver Lafayette takes a handoff and drives towards the rim to shift the defence, while Kostas Lukas comes the opposite way for a pick and roll with Bryant Dunstan. When Slukas gets by the defending big man, another defender must help, leaving Printezis wide open for an easy three-pointer. Here the same play is run for Brent Petway. Again, when his defender must move to help in the paint, Petway is left free for a perfectly delivered three-point opportunity. Real Madrid has a great shooter in JC Carroll, who moves non-stop without the ball as the team works on creating open shots for him. On this play, Madrid sets a blind back screen for Carroll, and then Jonas Masiulis does a great job picking his own defender to deny a defensive switch, leaving Carroll totally open. On another occasion, a handoff between Sergio Rodriguez and Andres Nocioni is followed by a fake pick and roll. Marcus Slaughter doesn't roll to the basket, but instead goes to screen for Carroll, who reads the defense perfectly, curls into the opening nearer to the basket, and finishes with a floating jump shot. A shot-making ace like Andrew Gaudalok of Fenerbahce Ulker Istanbul, who finished third among all EuroLeague scorers this season, can make points happen in many different ways, and in this case, all on the same play. Here he gets the ball after a screen set by Nemanja Bjelica, who clears to the corner, while Semir then comes from the weak side to fake a pick and roll. Gaudalok attacks the bigger defender and delivers a pass to Erden, who enjoys a mismatch for a huge slam. On the same play, Gaudalok uses Bjelica's screen, and when the defender follows him, curls inside for a pull-up jumper in front of a bigger opponent. On the third example of the same play, as his defender goes over Jan Vesely's screen, Gaudalok drives baseline and gets the ball to his big man. When Vesely misses, Fenerbahce pulls down the offensive rebound and gets it back to Gaudalok for a three-pointer. CSKA Moscow region completed its outstanding finals performance to seal the EuroCup title with an 83-64 victory over Herbalife Gran Canaria Las Palmas on Wednesday, securing a 174-130 aggregate triumph in the two-game home and away series, the biggest finals winning margin in the history of the competition. It is Himki's second EuroCup crown in the space of 4 years, after they also claimed the honour in 2012. And victorious coach Rimas Kurtinaitis becomes the first head coach to win 3 EuroCup titles. There was also a milestone for Tyrese Rice, who was named the most valuable player to become the first player to take Finals MVP honours in successive EuroLeague and EuroCup campaigns, having claimed the prize with Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv last season.
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, you know, it's history, I guess, and, you know, it's a great accomplishment, you know, not only for myself, but for this team. I mean, nothing individual comes without the team, and I've been saying that all year, and we got a lot of guys that could single-handedly do it themselves, but we all did it together.
Game 1 of the series took place in Gran Canaria, and Himki made a fast start behind Rice and Paul Davis, maintaining a solid lead until the interval. The third period saw Gran Canaria fight back as Eulis Baez shone, but Himki stayed strong to hold a 5-point lead at the end of the third quarter. then raced away in the final period to re-establish a big lead, which was soon increased to 20 points. Gran Canaria didn't give up and had the game's top scorer with 23 points for Karl Kuric. But Igor Vielcev and Petteri Koponen both scored 18 for Khimki, which gained a 66-91 victory to take back to Russia for Game 2. And back on its home court, Khimki soon added to its advantage, behind a fast start from the dynamic Rice to put another dent in any hopes Gran Canaria might have held of pulling off a dramatic comeback. The home team scored 27 points in the first quarter to establish a solid advantage, and soon extended its lead into and beyond double figures as Rice and James Augustine both reached 10 points by half-time. Khimki stayed in control during the second half, with the powerful Davis delivering a string of explosive plays to thrill the home fans as their team moved ever closer towards the title. Gran Canaria had the better of the fourth quarter, and Walter Tavares led the visitors with a double-double of 14 points and 10 rebounds, but there was never a threat to the home team as they completed a comprehensive victory to take the EuroCup trophy. Next week we take another step closer to the Final Four in Madrid. Make sure you don't miss it.